We here at iBUG today want to express our heartfelt condolences to all the families and friends affected by the recent accidents. Our thoughts and prayers are with you during this very difficult time. So, with that said, I want to welcome each of you to the iBUG Cafe. I'm your host, Sree. This is episode 117. Today is February 2nd, 2025. And if you did not know, somebody just celebrated their second birthday. And if you are curious as to who that may be, well, stick around and we'll tell you. Here at the cafe, we typically take an in-depth look at an iOS app, but today we will focus on and learn about a new product that is coming out later this year, which I believe will truly change on how we get around. And that product is called Glide. But before we get started, I want to personally say thank you to each of you for attending this cafe in person, and for those who'll be listening to this cafe either on our website or our podcast or in our YouTube channel. And if you find any of our videos helpful, please hit the like and subscribe so the next time our very own Julie uploads any of our videos, you'll get notified right away. In today's cafe, I am thrilled for 3 reasons. First, I am thrilled because she's back here at the cafe to announce our weekly events. It's our very own Sandhya. Sandhya, please tell us what's going on here at iBUG today this week.
Thank you so much, Sree. Yes, welcome everyone. I'm going to tell you about what iBUG is going to be doing for the next week. And this is only for this week, so let's go. Tomorrow, Monday night, we have the iBUG Buzz from 7 to 9. All times are central, and everything is on the same Zoom link where you are right now. So from 7 to 9, we'll answer all questions relating to your iPhone and applications and accessories. So please come for that. And then after that, we'll have the After Buzz, where we have a very casual discussion about whatever might come along. So that's from generally 9 to 11. Then on Tuesday, we'll have the Mac Buzz from 5 to 6, all questions relating to your Mac. Then on Thursday, we have iBug Trekkie Talk from 7 to 8:30. We have started watching the Voyager series, Season 1, Episode 5 and 6, entitled Beige and the Cloud. Then on Friday, we have iBug Night at the Virtual Movie starting at 8 o'clock promptly. Audio described movie that we have not decided on yet, or we'll find out what it is on Monday night. So if you want to find out before everybody else, come on Monday at the midpoint, 8 p.m. Central. We also have a little social time at 7:15 on Friday night. Same that tune, bad jokes, and general craziness. And then we have a discussion and trivia to follow the movie. Then on Saturday, we have iBug Unplugged. And we had to do a little rescheduling, but we are very excited about this discussion. And it will be from 8 to 10. And what is the title, you might be asking? I'm Journey to Greatness Despite Blindness. And this will be iBug's observance of Black History Month, and we will have a panel discussion. So definitely join us this Saturday. So we have a busy week ahead, so we hope you'll come. And then real quick, as far as getting in touch with us, you can visit our website at ibugtoday.org, ibugtoday.org. There you can register, get on our mailing list so you can get all these notifications in a timely manner. You can also visit us on Facebook and X, and we are also available on your favorite podcasting app. So we look forward to seeing you soon, and I will hand it back to Sree.
Thank you, Sandhya. And Sandhya, I just want to once again say welcome back.
Thank you.
And
Glad
definitely
to be
check
here.
out. Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so definitely check out our website, ibugtoday.org. So now it's time for us to go ahead and introduce everyone. What we're going to do is just state your name, where you're calling from, and if you're first time here at the iBug Cafe, please let me know. And I have an icebreaker question. It's very simple. Have you heard about Glide? All I need you to do is just say yes or no.
Jose from Houston, and no, I have not.
All right, welcome, Jose.
Misty from New Jersey, and no, I have not.
Okay, welcome.
Herbie from Houston, and yes.
Welcome, Herbie.
Dan from Southern California, yes.
Welcome, Dan.
Chanel, Houston, yes.
Welcome, Chanel.
Louise, Georgia, yes.
Welcome.
Ned from Texas, yes.
Welcome, Ned.
Julie Williamson, no.
Okay, welcome, Julie.
Jody from New Hampshire, yes.
Welcome, Jody.
Deb from Kansas, no.
Okay, welcome, Deb.
Arlene, North Carolina, no.
Welcome.
Deepak, Maryland.
Hey, Deepak.
Ed from
Mary
Georgetown,
Linda.
no.
Hey, welcome.
This is Sarah in Vermont. Yes.
All right, welcome.
Liz Fort Worth, yes.
Welcome.
This is Louise, Indiana. Yes, I have.
Okay, welcome.
Mary Linda,
Columbus,
Georgia,
yes.
no.
Okay, welcome.
Eric from Dallas, no.
Okay, welcome.
Nancy
Vanessa from Georgia, yes.
Welcome, both of you.
Desi from Franklin, Tennessee. Yes, and I've been to a personal demonstration.
Great.
Bonnie from Washington, yes.
Okay, welcome.
Intisar from Iowa, and yes, I have.
Welcome.
Richard from Houston, yes.
Okay, welcome.
Terry from Arlington Heights, yes, and I'm a glider.
All right, welcome.
Mel Scott from Pennsylvania, Doylestown.
And have you heard about Glide?
Yes.
All right. And is this your first time here?
Yes.
And how'd you hear about us?
Jody and
All right,
Sarah.
great. Great referral. Welcome.
Hi, it's Tim and Frankie Morgan. You know us, and we have heard about Glide. This is our first time.
And how did you hear about us?
Well, we get your emails, and of course, we've been to your house with Frankie.
Welcome.
Janice from Maryland, no.
Welcome, Janice.
Rosetta Stone, I heard you talking about it the other day.
All right. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
John, BC, Canada.
Welcome, John. Have you heard of Glide?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Derek from Houston.
Welcome, Derek.
No, never heard.
Okay.
Amy Cristaldi from Chevy Chase, Maryland. Yes, I have.
All right. Welcome, Amy.
From
Who's
Florida,
next?
yes.
All right. Welcome, Pete.
Maria in Albany, New York. Yes.
All right. Welcome, Maria. All right. Anyone else?
Sandhya in Houston, yes.
Welcome, Sandhya.
Eileen Levin in New Jersey. I pre-ordered one and I'm so excited. And this is my first time at iBUG.
And how did you hear about us?
Jody.
Great. Welcome.
Texas, yes.
Hey, Michael. Welcome back.
Joe from Maryland, no.
All right. Welcome, Joe. And Joe, is this your first time here or have you been here before?
First time.
And how'd you hear about us?
Prevention of Blindness Society in Washington.
Great, great. Welcome.
Thank you.
Andrea from Puyallup, yes. And I'm
And
new.
And how'd you hear about us?
Through a friend.
All right. Good friend. All right. Well, welcome. Appreciate it.
I don't know if I got registered or not. Mary Linda, Georgia, no.
Okay. Well, welcome. Anyone else? Going once? Twice? Well, this is Sree Roy. I'm from Washington, D.C. And yes, I have heard about it. Second reason I'm really thrilled about today's presentation is I've been wanting to have the leadership team from Glidance to talk about their product Glide here at the cafe. And that is because I had the privilege of meeting this amazing team and got to demo Glide both in Jacksonville, Florida, and when they were here in Washington, D.C., I got to try it out. So I will definitely say you are in for a treat, especially for those who have not heard about this particular product. So if you want to reach out to Glidance, you can do it two ways. You can send an email to ibugtoday@gmail.com. And on the subject line, if you just type in Glide, we will definitely pass your contact information along to them. Just give us your first and last name along in the subject line. Just say Glide, and we will pass along your contact information. Or you can go to their site, which I'm sure Luke will tell you more about, and register at their site, glidance.io. The third reason I'm very excited about today's presentation is because I have two amazing co-hosts who are going to help me in today's presentation. Maria Kristic from New York and Pete Lane from Florida, which they introduced themselves just recently. They are just as excited as I am because all three of us have pre-ordered our Glide. And so we are looking forward to it. So Maria and Pete, I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to you guys.
Thank you, Sree.
Sree. Welcome, everyone. Sree mentioned that someone was celebrating a second birthday on Thursday, and that would be Glidance. So this company has gone from milestone to milestone of growth. In the past year, they began monthly community calls, seeking feedback from the community, putting out surveys, and beginning from just a few members in the beginning, there's now a 6,500 plus user strong community of gliders that is helping to shape this exciting product. Sree indicated being able to experience Glide in person at a demo day, and I was fortunate to be able to do so as well last May when they came to New York City, where I thought that I had come far driving with family 3 hours from where I live in Albany, and then where I met people who had come in from Delaware and Washington, D.C. and Wisconsin and other places that made me realize that I had not come far, and made me also realize just how palpable the excitement is for this really groundbreaking device. I've been so impressed with Amos and Luke and Nick, the entire Glide team, willingness to engage with the community, realizing that yes, certainly Amos being blind himself and having experience with canes and guide dogs has experience, but also the importance of seeking feedback from so many of us on this spectrum of blindness and low vision. And I found their willingness to engage so impressive. And of course, the promise of the product. But that was last May, and they are just full steam ahead, coming to prestigious conferences like the Consumer Electronics Show, which they just attended in Las Vegas earlier this month, and the CSUN, Assistive Technology Conference in California, the Blindness Consumer Conventions as well, and of course these demo days, both virtual as we're experiencing now and in person, that they will just be ramping up this year with approximately at this point 50 tentative dates. And so ahead of its anticipated launch, hopefully you, if you are excited to learn more, will get to experience Glide for yourself in person this year as they just continue to move forward on development and meeting the milestone to bring the full potential and capabilities of this device. I know even I, as a guide dog user, for those times when bringing my dog would not be the best approach in a travel situation, will look forward to having Glide as one of my travel tools. And so without any further ado, before we turn it over to Nick and Luke and Amos, and thank you all very much for joining us to tell us more, I'd like to turn it over first to Pete for some welcoming remarks.
Thanks, Maria. Hello, everybody. Glad to have you all with us today. And before we welcome the team, I just want to give a brief illustration of how I became acquainted with Glide. I actually attended the ACB convention here in Jacksonville, Florida, back in the summertime, at which Glide and their team was present. I did not, unfortunately, participate in their demo at that point, but since then, having learned a little bit about this device, I've viewed many online videos from YouTube and online events that they have sponsored. And like Maria, several months ago, I actually pre-ordered the device. Now add to that, since then, more recently, they have introduced their latest iteration of the device, which they will elaborate on and describe in detail in a moment. But it's got even more up-to-date features and additional buttons and things like that that are even make this device even more appealing to me. So I am definitely excited for this device and looking very much forward to its release later this year. So thank you, Maria. Handing it back to you.
Thank you, Pete. So without further ado, I would like to turn this over to the Glidance team to take us forward and share about this device, what its description and its capabilities, and some virtual demonstrations and how you can find out more.
My goodness me, Maria, Pete, Sree, thank you all so much for that introduction there. I have rosy cheeks right now. Hi, everyone. My name is Luke Buckberrrough. I'm one of the co-founders and head of growth here at Glidance. And quickly before we kick things off, I would love to give all the team members here at Glidance an opportunity to introduce themselves. I just mentioned I'm one of the co-founders and head of growth, but I'd like to say hi to all my Canadian friends on the call. I know John had mentioned he was from BC. John, I'm waving at you from Alberta. I'm currently in Calgary, Canada. Canada. It's a little chilly out right now. We had a Chinook last week, but a little colder this time. My background's always been in early stage tech companies at the earliest of moments in their sales, marketing, partnerships, and growth teams. And I'm so excited to be on this call for a number of reasons. Maria had mentioned her first demo day. That was actually our first demo day ever in New York. And Maria, it was such a pleasure to have met you, Sree in Washington, Pete at the convention, and everyone else on this call. I'm so excited to be spending the next hour and a bit with you all, walking through Glidance, Glide, and the journey that the glider community has taken us on and will continue to for a long time. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to my colleague, Nick.
Thank you to everyone for having us on the call today. It's our pleasure to be here, and we're very excited about reaching a whole bunch of new people. We heard a whole bunch of no's in the introduction, people who had not heard of Glide, so we are very excited to make about 40 folks by my count aware of who we are and what we do. My name is Nick. I am the project director. My background is primarily in consumer goods, product line management and project management and sales. And I will turn it over to our other co-founder on the call, which is Amos Miller.
Nick, thank you very much. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, perfect. Well, first I'd like to say welcome everyone to the Glidance family. And I want to say thank you, Maria, Sree, Pete, and everyone here for having us in the iBUG Cafe. I think it's exciting to be here. My name is Amos Miller. I'm the CEO of the company and original co-founder of the company. I am blind myself. As Maria mentioned and Pete mentioned, I actually have retinitis pigmentosa, lost most of my sight in my early to mid-20s. That's when I started to learn to use the cane and then the guide dog. I'm on my 6th guide dog today. His name is Boots. My background is in computer science and engineering. Always loved technology, always been fascinated by computers. Prior to Glidance, I spent many years at Microsoft. Some of you may be familiar with my work on Soundscape. That's when I really started to dive deep into the potential for technology to make a difference in independent wayfinding, navigation. And what I wanted to start with before we dive into the features and capabilities of the product, I wanted to take a few minutes to frame for you what we are doing here at Glidance and why. And I'll start by saying that I'll put it to you that if you imagine a city street in 5, 6, 7 years' time, you will see many more people who are blind out and about. People of all ages, walking confidently and with purpose. Some will be using a cane, some will be working with a guide dog, but many will be assisted by some form of an intelligent guide. And here I'm talking about a device. It's not something that's in your ear or something that you wear on your head or on your body. I don't actually think that in this time frame we're going to start seeing humanoids walking with us, sitting with us for coffee. I think these devices are going to be part of you, an extension of you, and they will give you a profound sense of independence, of agency, of flow and confidence when you're out and about. I would also put it to you that these devices, these intelligent guides, are going to be so easy to use, powerful, and affordable that anyone who is blind will be able to get out of their home without hesitation. Whether you've been blind all your life, whether you lost your sight later in life, like many in our community do, I think you will no longer hesitate about going out. Is it going to be okay? Will I be able to get across that road? Will I be able to find that building or manage in that store? I think we will feel empowered to just go. I believe this is an inevitable future. It is going to happen. And my team here at Glidance is working hard to build that future together with you, because we believe that these intelligent guides will truly have a profound impact on everything. In particular, in this day and age, where people with disabilities are having to reassert our place in society. You may not be aware, but over 90% of people who are blind don't actually enjoy the benefit or the cane or the guide dog. And so they are not able to get out of their home independently. You may know folks in your own circles who are in that situation. And we've been having extensive dialogue with the O&M community, orientation and mobility trainers, guide dog schools. And we are confident that if we get this right, these guides will help to bring independent mobility to many, many more people. We need to work on orientation and mobility training with Glide. We also need to explore self-onboarding. What does it mean when somebody who purchases Glide online and goes through their own self-onboarding experience by themselves or with a family member? These situations are going to happen. This is pretty radical. Already working on those ideas with orientation and mobility trainers. We also need to understand how we expect public to respond to these things. We already have tremendous input and through discussions with hundreds and hundreds of blind people over the last year. And we really need to understand the need to balance the need for the device to be visible on the one hand, but many people have the desire that the device doesn't necessarily represent a white cane. So there are a lot of questions, and really our ask of you is to tell us what you're excited about. Ask us the hard questions. Go to our website, register, join the community, join the conversation. Bring people in your circles that you think we should hear from. Tell them about our work. Maybe bring them to the next call. That is exactly why we're here, to explore these questions together as we shape this, what I think to be a really, really exciting and important future. So with that background, let me give you a brief introduction of Glide as the device, and then we'll go into a bit more details. First of all, Glide is indeed the first of its kind intelligent guide. It is a primary mobility aid. It is not designed to be something that you use with your cane or with your dog. It's designed to be primary mobility aid, give you another option alongside the cane or the dog. You might choose to take Glide on one day and the cane on the other day. The way it works is that it has two wheels. It's basically a robot, okay? It has two wheels on the ground, a long handle. You hold the handle, you nudge the device forward, and you just walk. And as you begin to walk, what happens is that the wheels on the ground begin to autonomously steer the way, guiding you on a path, avoiding obstacles, helping you find dropped curbs, doors, escalators, elevators, and Glide could take you the whole way to your destination. And it uses autonomous driving technology from the autonomous vehicle industry with cameras and sensors. Pretty cool device. Now, why is this important? Well, you've all been there, trying to navigate a crowded space, let's say a big open area with people, or busy street, sidewalk with people and furniture, street furniture, and so on. The way that Glide does it is because it's physically connected to the ground, it guides you among those obstacles. You don't need to know about them, weaving you amongst them as though they weren't there. When crossing the road, you might be worried about veering off. Glide can see the crosswalk with its cameras. It can detect the up curb and guide you in a straight line across the road. Getting off an Uber, you're looking for the door. Glide will detect the door and guide you to it. Inside, you want to find the elevator. Again, it will use what we call line of sight targeting to help you locate that door and get inside. Incredibly powerful, super easy to use, and that is exactly why I believe Glide will change everything. It is an inevitable future. Intelligent guides are going to be part of our day-to-day lives before long, empowering many, many more of us to get out and about. So thank you again for allowing us to join your session today. And I'll hand back to Luke to take us through some more details about the product. And after that, we can go into questions.
Amos, thank you so much. So to go a bit deeper into the kind of description Amos had mentioned there around the elements of the product, we're going to give you guys a bit more of a description around the technology and the type of sensors and cameras and the configuration of the device itself. And none of us actually on this call are going to be doing that. Our good friend Kyle and our other co-founder, who's based in Michigan, who had some family matters today and couldn't make the call. He recorded a quick video for us that I'm going to play for everyone here. It's about 7 minutes in length. And again, it really does a very high level but deep driven view on the technology behind the device as well. So I'm going to share my screen now. And without further ado, let me know if we can hear this.
I'm the head of product. My background's in industrial design, hardware development, manufacturing. So I'm excited to walk you through the design of Glide, where we're at and where we're headed, and give you the context to be able to ask more questions here during the session. So on my screen, I'm holding up the Glide device. This is our Marie prototype. Overall, the design of the device is meant to be very modern and approachable. So we didn't want it to look like some futuristic tech thing. We wanted it to fit into a lifestyle that could be active and out and about in daily life and not looking like a completely foreign object. One of the first things that's noticed is this glowing LED ring. This is a preference that you could set in the app, but this really kind of calls attention to the device, make sure that people can see it out of their peripheral vision. Also helps with visibility at night, walking down the sidewalk or down the road. The overall design as well, it's a mix of black and white. So the wheels in the bottom half of the main kind of device at the base are black. There's a red handle that sticks out of the front of the bottom that kind of looks like a bumper. And that serves a couple of purposes. One, it's literally a bumper. Two, it creates a kickstand so that when you tilt the device up, if you need to get out your wallet or do something with both hands, the device will just stand up for you, and it uses that component. And then third, it actually does act as a handle if you need to carry it somewhere longer distance or just want to use two hands to pick it up. That handle is, we find, fairly useful. Overall, the weight of the device is only around 7 pounds, and that's really due to the battery and sizing battery appropriately to last 6+ hours of use. And so with standby mode, if you tip it up, it's not actively using all of the sensors. We anticipate that lasting an entire day. So as far as the design of the base, imagine a cylindrical shape about the size of a cantaloupe. It's got soft edges, so it's kind of a rounded shape. And then there's two wheels that are 7-inch in diameter, so fairly large wheels, one on each side. And these are kind of all-terrain wheels. So this is meant to go on-road and to some extent off-road, or at least be able to conquer those bumpy sidewalks and tree root bumps and things like that that you'll encounter in day-to-day. And those are meant to also be swappable, replaceable. So we're building in a mechanism where you can just pull on the hub, the wheels will pop off, so you can clean them or you can replace them. We do anticipate making a variety of different types of wheels for sand and different applications down the road. As far as the construction of the device, it's meant to be extremely robust. We're building it to military specifications for demands with the kind of durability for drop testing, etc. It's also going to be IPX5 rated for weatherproofing, meaning if you get caught in a big rainstorm, you get splashed by a bus on the sidewalk, you're at the beach and you get a little rogue wave that hits it, it will be fine. It's designed to withstand all of that stuff, be brushed off, rinsed off, and keep going. There is a connector for charging on the back. Originally, we were kind of exploring a docking station, and we heard resoundingly from our community on calls like this that no, we just want to use the cell phone charger. So that's what we're building. It's going to be using a USB-C charger, same thing as your cell phone, and you can plug it in to recharge it overnight. All right, so up from the base, there is a stem that's adjustable, I should say. So on this prototype, there's a button that allows the handle to extend up or down. We're aiming to accommodate height ranges from around 4 feet tall to 6'8". So from maybe a 6-year-old child to a professional NBA player, if you can imagine that. Also, this entire stem detaches from the base. We're adding a button to the back. This whole thing pops off. That's going to make it a lot easier to be able to pack into an overhead bin or into a carry-on bag or something of that nature to get it as small as possible for wherever you want to take it. Up at the handle, this is where a lot of the tech is also housed. So we're putting in camera systems into the handle. This prototype is already a little bit outdated. We're moving to 2 stereo depth cameras. These use 2 cameras each to create depth, and that gives us the ability to essentially create a 3D map of the environment around us. We have IR that enables us to be able to see also in the dark, as well as kind of blinding sunlight situations. And yeah, that's kind of the core of understanding the surroundings using those cameras. One is pointed more kind of down at the base to be able to detect curbs, drop-offs, anything kind of immediately around the base of the device as you're walking, and the other is pointed forward and slightly up to be able to detect overhead obstacles and see longer line of sight targets that you might be interested in going toward. In the handle as well, there is a speaker and a microphone array so that you can have simple voice interactions with Glide. You could say, hey, Glide, help me find the front desk, for example, when you enter a hotel lobby. And then we're adding buttons into the grip area. Imagine a left, a right, and kind of a center button that you can press. And so as you enter that lobby and you ask Glide to help you find different areas that you might be interested in, Glide could say front desk, elevator, chair. And you can use those buttons to kind of cycle through those options, select the one you want, and that will allow Glide to create a route to get you to what it can see with those cameras that you selected. Additional kind of features in the grip area are haptic actuators. And so we have these zones on the left and the right that are acoustically isolated. So that gives us the ability to kind of buzz on the left side and let you signal that, and buzz on the right side. So for example, if Glide needs to take a really sharp turn left, we can buzz on the left side to kind of inform you that that's what it's intending to do coming up. And that can be used in a variety of different ways. Two more things to mention. One, a programmable button on the back side of the handle. This was actually a feature that was brought up and introduced by Stevie Wonder. You can imagine that. He wanted a button that you could just quickly press to activate a feature. So some might want to program that as an alarm for various reasons. Some might want to have that immediately just dial up a loved one that you could speak to through the Glide, etc. So that gives us a lot of interesting ideas. We'd love your thoughts on how you might want to use that button, but this is kind of a quick access function. And then lastly, I know I'm talking a lot here. This is a lot of information, but the last thing is we're building an ultra wideband. Practically what that means is you could have beacons that Glide could navigate to. So the example here is you walk into a restaurant, you could hand the host the beacon. Glide would follow the beacon to your table. Let's say you get up and you use the bathroom, Glide can help you find the bathroom. If you left the beacon at your table, when you come out of the bathroom, Glide can direct you right back to your table and your seat where you were coming from. So I'm sure I missed something, but I will stop there. We'll take questions, and the rest of my team feel free to chime in on and fill in any gaps. Thank you.
Amazing. Well, we'll all thank Kyle virtually. And what we're going to do now is we sometimes play a video that we have on our YouTube channel. And essentially, it's a demo experience of the Marie prototype in certain scenarios, like Amos walking to get a smoothie, Amos visiting a friend in town. Those videos are about 9 minutes long. We really love virtual demo days to be about, real open Q&A sessions where we can get your feedback, your ideas, your perspectives and questions. So what I'd love everyone to do, if possible, after this call, whenever you have some time, go to our YouTube channel, Glidance, Your New Way to Independence. There's a number of videos on there, and we'd love for everyone to be able to go and watch those. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it back over to Amos to really touch on our development process, where we're at currently, and how we're really looking to bring the community into our team and really pull the curtain back and allow everyone to feel like a team member, contributor, and a partner on this journey.
Thanks, Luke. What I suggest is we can start shifting to Q&A. So if you have questions and so on, begin to raise your hands. And while you do that, let me just explain briefly where we are with development. So as Maria has indicated, and Sree, I think, Glide is still very much in development, which means that our engineering team is working on the product, on the hardware, the software, the AI capabilities that power the experience, and it is very much a work in progress. Based on our current timeline, we see the ability to start delivering devices to people who have pre-ordered the devices later this year, later in 2025. But we are still making changes, we're still working on features, and so that's really why we're having these conversations at this stage, is really this is the opportunity to impact what the device will be able to do on day one and down the line. It's important for me to emphasize that these Glide device, think about it as a lot like a Tesla vehicle, where the capabilities of the device will evolve over time. After you purchase the device, you will get regular updates to the device, regular updates to the AI models and capabilities, so that the device, so that you can get more and more advanced features. I would emphasize that the day one features are focusing on what we call freestyle navigation. Freestyle navigation is the situation where you are in control of your route and Glide is being your primary mobility aid, keeping you out of trouble. And over time, we will add the capability for you to give Glide a destination, whether it's a destination on a route that you do on a regular basis or based on maps through Google Maps and other mapping apps. But it's not something that we're still working on exactly the roadmap and how and the order in which the features will start to show up. But as I say, through the year, more and more people will begin to use the device, and towards the end of the year, we will start shipping them to people who have pre-ordered the device. One other thing I wanted to mention, because we didn't mention it explicitly, one of my goals with Glide is that this is a device that reaches everyone who wants it. everyone is looking for it. And so a guideline that we have used for pricing is a cell phone. We really worked hard to make sure that we know that most of us in the community are able to own a cell phone. People buy laptops. So Glide that's the cost of the device. The retail price is $1,500. We do have a subscription that comes on top of that for the AI and sensible wayfinding features and the ongoing costs of the AI capabilities that you will be drawing on, and connectivity as well. So I just wanted to emphasize those 2 points. From there, I will pass back to Luke and Nick, and we can start the Q&A. I don't know who wants to facilitate that.
This is Pete. Let me interrupt for just a moment, if you gentlemen don't mind. Ladies and gentlemen, you know we do not use the raise hand feature. So those of you who have raised your hand, if you would please lower them. Thank you, Jose. What we will do is ask Julie will unmute you or allow you to unmute yourselves. And then when you go off mute, then just speak your name and wait till either Maria or myself recognize you, give you the go-ahead to ask your question, and try not to interrupt the person who's currently speaking, but please make your questions very brief. We do have quite a few participants here today, and we want to give everyone with a question the opportunity to ask that question. So Julie, if you would go ahead and unmute everybody, we would appreciate that.
As well, that even though you will now be allowed to unmute, to please stay muted when you are not speaking, so that we have the highest quality recording of this call to post to our podcast and YouTube for those who will be listening after the live call. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, who would like to ask the first question?
Brian?
Yes, Brian.
My question was, well, I mean, it was brought up to Amos in the past, but I haven't heard anything about it, is how will the Glide work like in an inch or 2 of snow?
Did you hear that question, Amos?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so first of all, Glide has pretty big all-terrain wheels, and so it has a good clearing off the ground. The body of the device has a couple of inches above the ground and the terrain wheels. So it is designed to manage in various terrains. We have not yet pushed it through 2 or 3 inches of snow, but that's something that we hope to be able to do very soon and provide good feedback around it. Of course, it depends on the kind of snow it is and how deep it is and so forth. Luke, I don't know if you wanted to add anything here, but that's where we are right now.
Yeah, no, I think really the device is being built to handle a number of different environments, not only because of the size of the wheels, as Amos mentioned, but again, I mean, where users live. I'm in Canada currently, and Calgary is not only cold, but quite snowy. And I think the one thing that we're still working towards is the software capability as well to understand how to keep you on that path. You know, for example, just to put it out there, the question around ice. I am sighted, and I do slip and fall every now and again in Alberta because sometimes ice is, you know, to the sighted eye, you can't see it. What I like about Glide, though, and I have actually tested this, is as you walk forward, the wheels are in front of you. So you still get that feedback and almost that protection of having something confront something before you yourself. I did feel the slip of the wheels a little bit. So I took it upon myself to be a bit more careful and walked by that ice completely fine. But as to Amos's point, it's obviously snowing right now, so we're eager and excited to start developing the device outdoors in that environment.
The cameras on the device are up high in the handle, so that gives them the best chance of not being impeded by snow close to the ground with blowing and drifting snow or deep snow. So that also helps with the visibility of the device being able to detect and map the environment and obstacles.
Great point.
All right, Maria.
All right. Who would like to ask the next question? And please, just a reminder, I am seeing some raised hands. Please instead do say your name. You can lower the hand and we will acknowledge you.
Jose.
Jose, go ahead.
Just a couple of questions real quick. Do you always need to have access to the internet? Because nowadays when you go into large buildings or underground, you lose signal on your cell phone. So how is this device going to work with that? And are you going to offer this device to operate in different languages?
Very quick. The device can operate without access to the internet. It does need to connect from time to time, and certain features like live scene description will need access. But from the perspective of navigation and guidance, it's all on device, and it's designed from the ground up to be not to rely on connectivity. As we start rolling out internationally, also in the US, we are definitely building capability to broaden the language set. I can't yet say on day one whether we will be more any other languages other than English, but we are working on that right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jose. Who would like to ask the next question?
Rosetta Stone Brown?
Yes, Rosetta.
Thank you. I wish you'd be more specific about pricing. You mentioned $1,500. Is that all in one payment? And then you also said that there might be additional charges later on. What are you saying?
Yeah, I could be very specific. At this stage, the retail price for the device itself is $14.99, and the subscription is $30 per month for the connectivity and for the AI and all the capabilities that you will get through that connectivity, which is required to operate the device.
And Amos, can you comment on, I believe there was a question there as well about payment plan to cover that $14.99?
Yes. We are doing the pre-order program, which I don't believe is open right now. It might still be. We have also offered people a 6 installments, interest-free 6 installments plan, just to make it easier for people to get hold of the device itself.
Thank you. Who would like to ask the next question?
Deepak.
Deepak, go ahead.
Yeah, 2 questions. One, with the help button you were describing, maybe a feature would be, I think Sree was telling me like there are apps that you can like have like a spouse or a significant other, like you could pop like where they could see through the camera. Let's say like for some reason the system wasn't working, you could push the button and through Wi-Fi through your phone it would connect to whoever the person is, and then they could see through the camera on the device just in case there is a problem.
Thank
that
you.
would be a suggestion.
Yeah, no, love that. It's definitely one of the scenarios we're looking to use for that button. So thank you for reinforcing that. And we definitely see that either it could be a spouse, or if somebody lives in independent living center, it could be the nurse on hand, or so really make that pretty flexible button that enables somebody to come in through the camera and help you deal with the situation. So thank you for bringing that up.
The second question I had is, I used to take the metro a lot. I'm in Washington, D.C. So I was wondering, like, I'm a lawyer. How does it work? Like, let's say you're taking the escalator down to the metro, and then you come to the gate, you go through the gate, like, where the gate is kind of like it opens and closes. So there's the gaps, and then, at the top part, bottom part, and then you have to look for the next escalator to go down to the metro platform. And then, like, you come to the platform and then like making sure you're close enough but not too close to the platform edge, and then like when the metro comes, like getting on the metro and finding an appropriate seat, etc. Like, have you tested it in a DC metro or a metro in like San Francisco?
We tested it in Chicago. I think what the outline that you've just described, Luke, I think would be a great script for another demo video that we could put together.
Yes.
To really explain those aspects step by step. But generally speaking, again, if it's a route that you are familiar with, what Glide will really help you with is we are training Glide to detect those what we call line of sight targets. So the gate can be a target, right? So Glide, instead of treating the gate as an obstacle, it can be something that you're working towards, and it's guiding you through the gate and showing you the way through it. The escalators are a target. As you use Glide in its what we call freestyle navigation, you're basically selecting the next target that you're going to, and Glide weaves you around obstacles, getting you to that target. Yeah, so you can imagine how that will be a sequence of those all the way down to the train. It will definitely keep you from getting close to the edge of the platform until the train comes through and it recognizes the door of the train as a target and lets you go through it.
Can we train it? Or like, can we, like, with the mobility instructor, let's say you were doing a path, like, you take the bus, you get off the bus, you go down the escalator, whatever, the steps you were outlining it. Could you have a mobility or somebody with you who can pre-train like a route. Like, I'm blind, I use a cane. So I
Yeah.
went with my mobility instructor down, several times and trained me. Can we do that? So on certain routes that you're doing, it would pre-know the route?
Yeah, so that's what we term that pre-mapped routes. We are definitely working on that feature again, whether that be ready on day one or not. We will be clear on exactly the roadmap. What you'll be able to do here is to work with somebody to pre-train Glide on a route, whether it's indoors or outdoors. Or you can also pre-train Glide on what I call snippets of routes. Like it could be just the door of the 3 doors in front. It's this door that I need to go through, and I want Glide to always know that that's the door I'm going to. Of all the gates, I want this gate. Yeah, so you can be more specific with Glide, almost mark your environment with the places in the environment that you want to target.
Thank you, Amos.
Yeah, so
Thank you
that's
very
the plan.
much. And let's try to limit our questions to a single question. We've got quite a few folks here who would like to get some questions in. Who would like to ask the next question?
Karen,
go right ahead.
When I walk into a Starbucks or a bank, there's frequently a line and I need to find the back of a line. Is it at all trained to identify lines of people and the end of the line?
We've trained it to take you to the front of the line.
So I'd be cutting in line.
Joking.
And then apologize when you get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, it's a great question. It is definitely on our list of aspects to train. What we have enjoyed showing people with our current devices is how if you're walking behind a person, Glide always keeps you at a small distance from the person in front, so you can very easily follow the line. Basically, as the person in front of you walks forward, the brakes in the wheels release, and you can take a couple more steps, and then the brakes reapply. So following a line is really a lot of fun to use Glide with, and finding the back of the line. Again, this is one of the list of targets that we are training Glide to find, and we will work with the community to really get that to work really well.
And who would like to ask our next question?
This is Terry.
Terry, go ahead.
Yes, it occurs to me as a former dog guide user that some of these things you're talking about are exactly the types of things that we train dogs to do. So it makes very good sense that you could do that sort of thing that you're talking about here. I'm also thinking of the beacons. Could they be like you could print out little pieces of paper with QR codes on them that say you would take to a table, and it would recognize the QR code, say if you're coming back from the bathroom to your table or something like that. And then I'm thinking of breadcrumbs. When you program certain GPS devices, they talk about making breadcrumbs that you leave as your trail to a particular route, and you have X number of breadcrumbs that get you from point A to point B to point C, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I love all of these comments. And these are definitely the kind of things that I think Glide could. First of all, you're absolutely right. A lot of the ideas come from Guide Dog's world. Myself being a Guide Dog user, but also combining what we've found to be effective with the cane and the Guide Dog into one device. Yeah, so all of your ideas are relevant and important. I want to emphasize this. It's going to take a bit of time to get to really bring up all of these nuanced capabilities into the device. Our goal, if I may specify, for the first, when you get the device, our goal is that you can have the confidence to use it as your primary mobility aid. As a device that you can do your routes, that you can do new routes with that device as your primary aid. And once we are there, then we can start to add those additional capabilities that you're describing here and really light up the next level of independence.
And if I could quickly, just one question for Pete and Marie. I know we're coming up to 4. I'm more than happy, and I'm sure Nick and Amos are, to stay on a little longer as well. Maybe that's the first question. Then second, I'd love to bring up just one point that Terry brought up that I'd love to just give a quick little feedback to.
Okay, one question before we move on from that, Luke. Did you have any other videos to play, or did you say that they could access those on the website?
I think the best way to move forward is to go on our YouTube channel. Number of videos there. I will also say that on our website, glidance.io, we have a pretty in-depth FAQ, frequently asked questions list, that have always come up on these virtual demo day calls, our glider calls, and even just in person. So everyone after this as well, if there's a question or anything that you couldn't get here, I'm almost 99.9% sure that that question will be on our FAQ list on our website. Please go there as well, have a read through that. But I have no videos to show, Pete. Just
okay.
If we
then why don't you go ahead?
We'll send you the link to the videos so that you can publish it as part of.
That'll be great. Why don't you go ahead then, Luke, and address what you wanted to on Terry's question, and then we'll go back to the audience for more questions.
Amazing. Terry, I just again wanted to emphasize with Amos that a lot of it comes out of the experience of using a guide dog. I would like to put it out there. One of the things that many people, maybe 50% of the time, not get wrong, but have this idea of when we say a robot or something like an aid, it's not pulling you. Glide is really a device that's there for you to empower it with the ability to work. And what I mean by that is you are actually in control of the speed and the pace in which you walk. You grab onto the handle, you pull it back about 45 degrees, you'll hear a bit of a chime notifying you that the device is on and working, and you start walking forward. And if you stop walking, guess what? The device stops as well, because you are the manpower or woman power behind the device in many ways. It's just one of the differences I wanted to bring up, because I know that when we use the terms robot, you get this idea of something like, Terminator, it's taking over. But what's really powerful about Glide in many ways is I like to consider it almost Iron Man-like. You are still in control of the suit. You are still in control of how you use the suit, but the suit is just there to bring you more information, more opportunity, and more confidence. And that's really what Glidance is meant to do. You and it are partnering together, but in many ways, without you, the device is just a device. You are really empowering it to do those features and that ability to keep you safe, confident, independent on that path. Just one thing I wanted to bring up.
Great, Luke. Let me insert a question here, if you don't mind.
Please.
We know the basic navigation and that there's a handle. Is this something that could be used by folks, say, using a walker or perhaps a wheelchair, or including a motorized wheelchair? Have you envisioned that?
It's a very great question, Pete. And I will say that actually, Sree was at a demo day in Washington where we had someone who had a 3-wheeled walker. We crazy enough, this is very startup prototype, duct tape the device to the very front, the middle of her walker, and she walked, and with the remote control to a certain degree. We allowed her to feel the experience of what it would feel like to have the device be extended in front of the walker and turn its wheels to guide her around obstacles. And I have to say, it was an incredible success. Almost every demo day since then, we've had participants who maybe had a little bit of a balance and mobility issue who wanted to try it with their walker. It's not something that we see happening, let's say, in the near-term future. We want to make sure we get this device out to as many individuals as possible and really start to understand, the value creation and start to do what next features do we need to get out there. But I will say that it is very well within our roadmap to develop a system that can either integrate into your walker or actually just be attached to your walker as well and give you that opportunity to walk out and about with Glide. So great question.
A wheelchair as well?
A wheel, Amos?
Still exploratory.
Of course, we understand.
Yeah, because it really depends on how the wheelchair is driven. Like if you're controlling it with a joystick and you're using Glide with your other hand, it's possible that it could work well. It's not really in the current form factor designed for that particular configuration, if you like. But as Luke says, once we are able to get the first cut of the device out and really start to get it into the real world and make sure that it guides really well and we definitely plan to look at how from a modular perspective we can apply the capabilities to other either support devices or scooters, wheelchairs, and so on. But that's on the roadmap, not in the immediate term, though.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As our audience is considering other questions, I will just throw one out as well. As we know, AI is continuously, of course, improving and getting better, but we know that also at the current time that it has also been known to hallucinate and give inaccurate information. And I'm wondering if there's anything that you have been able to do, perhaps some kind of extra verification step, or just simply what you have been thinking about in terms of possibilities to increase the accuracy in the information that the AI is providing. For example, that it is an actual door instead of a glass window, or whatever the situation motivation may be.
What a great question. My goodness, Maria. Let me be clear that we started to look and develop Glide before latest craze of AI came around, okay? We are definitely building on the new capabilities, what we call multimodal AI enables us, so combining video and language. But in the foundation, it's what I call classical robotics. It's looking for obstacles, looking for cliffs, making sure that you don't bump into things, that you don't trip over things. No AI at that level. It's all very what we call deterministic algorithms. We know exactly what it's doing. That's to keep you safe, first of all. Keep you safe, not bumping into things, not falling off edges, and all of that stuff. On top of that, we then have computer vision models that allow us to train exactly the things that we consider to be critical, like the doors, escalators, dropped curves. Will it get every single one right? Probably not, but you will be able to work with the device and understand what's going on and communicate, and we can understand what's going on. At the highest level, if you walk into a hotel and say, hey, Glide, what's going on here? And we go to some general AI like we love ChatGPT or Be My Eyes and so on, that AI may hallucinate, as it does, okay? But we will, anything that it tells you, we will validate through the other layers in order to make sure that if we guide you to there, we know exactly what's there. Check the maps. And so there's plenty of redundancy there that we really are not relying on the sort of broad generic AI that we've all come to love through the Meta Ray-Ban and all of those devices.
Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Can I ask a question? This is Luis.
Yes, Luis, go
Hey,
right
Luis.
ahead.
So I don't want to sound like an idiot, right? But excuse my ignorance. So like my thing is I'm a cane user, right? So of course, when I walk into a bathroom, clack, 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 right? I'm just using the cane trying to find either the stall or the urinal. Is there going to be a way for it to pick up on something like that? Of course, work in progress, for sure.
I definitely think that it may not be the first list of primary targets. Once we have the ability to locate targets and guide you to them, basically what you do is you press the middle button of the device and it gives you the list of targets it can see in the environment in front of you.
Okay.
If you're in the bathroom, it will tell you I can see, two urinals and five doors.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can select the one you want and it becomes the target and it guides you to it. Okay?
Okay, for sure.
That's how it works. I think it will just be a matter of time as we enrich the kind of targets it gets. And that's where the advancements in AI today really are very helpful, because a lot of these objects are already very, very well trained to be detected.
Chanel.
Chanel, go ahead.
Chanel. Yeah, so I'm still a little bit confused about, I guess you communicate with it with buttons on the side, but what is the learning curve like for somebody who's only used a cane, and you're saying it kind of behaves more as if someone were using a guide dog. When you're using a cane, there's a certain way you line up to cross streets. I noticed my friends anyway, not to make my question too long-winded, just what is the learning curve for this device?
And the training process, I would imagine.
Yeah, the training process. Yes.
Great question. This is what we're going to learn this year as we get the device into more and more people's hands. We found that for people in our demo days where people when Peter tried, when Maria, when people pick up the device and begin to walk, the learning curve for following the device is pretty low. Somewhere between 30 seconds and 10 minutes, depending on what but that's just about how to follow the device and get its feedback. And you do turns. I think, especially when you come from the world of cane use, the input that you get from the environment is different, right? We all learned that when we used to learn to use a guide dog. You don't get the corner or the bush that tells you that this is the point you need to turn left, right? So how do we make sure that you are learning how to use the capabilities of Glide to accomplish what you probably have accomplished in a slightly different way using your cane? Really, I don't have a clear answer for you right now. That's what we're going to learn through a beta program, really, for starting this spring and for the rest of the summer, so that we can really be confident on that as we get to launching the device.
And Amos, if I might, a couple more comments on this.
Yes, go for it.
One of the things is that's why we're taking a very deliberate approach to launching and having a pre-order program that is limited in quantity, so that on day one, we have, as good of a chance to provide the best possible experience to those pioneers that will have it first and be able to handle their questions, concerns, training, and so on. We're developing onboarding modules for training the device in different ways. Also, Chanel, you mentioned the buttons for communication. I'm not sure if you're aware, but you're going to be able to communicate via the haptic feedback, but also via voice, right? So the device also has a microphone array, also has speakers. It's also Bluetooth connectable. So you can speak to it and it can speak back to you, and or you can use the haptic feedback buttons and navigate that way. So there will be different ways to communicate with the device as well.
Again, emphasize the point. This is a very new kind of device. There isn't anything like it. And so we have a lot of strong positive feedback about the approach that the device is taking, but we are learning with the community here. Somebody asked me the other day in one of the demo days, you don't sound all that confident. It's a good point. I mean, we are learning, and I don't want to stand here and say, oh, we've solved it all. Don't worry about it. Just get one. Like that's not the journey we're on. We're on a journey to change the world. We're on a journey to bring about a completely new type of experience for people who are blind. It's going to take multiple steps, and we want to do it right.
Go, Misty.
I was wanting to know about, would it be good during weathers like where I'm at, with the snow and rain and all that?
Yeah, so the device is designed to be weatherproof from cold, wet, windy, snowy weather all the way to hot. There are going to be limitations on temperature ranges that we are still learning at the moment. Less concerned on the lower temperatures, a bit more concerned on the high end, because the device does generate some heat itself, so it can keep itself warm. But if we have it out at where Nick lives over in Arizona, 110, 115, that's probably going to be too much for it. But we will communicate more clearly about the range of temperatures. But in terms of weatherproofing, we are not concerned about that. The design is IP5. It's resilient. Is it IP5 or IP6? 5, right?
Yeah, and we like to consider, we use the term, we want to build Glide to be military grade, and that's the angle that we're taking.
This is Bonnie, and I have a question.
Go ahead, Bonnie.
Oh, thank you. I've been waiting to ask this. For a very complicated street crossing, and it's noisy, how would the Glide be able to see? We have talking lights, but when it's real noisy, it's hard to hear those. How would the Glide handle a real complicated street crossing, where there's left turns and right turns? So it's really hard to know when it's your time to cross. Would it detect it by seeing the light, or how would it detect that? And then just another quick question, and that'll be my last question. Say you're going to a meeting, your cane you put under a chair. How do you get this out of the way when you're in a meeting? Thank you.
Great. The second question is easy. It has a telescopic handle, so it folds down, and you can slide it under your chair or under the table. It's really designed to fit in the overhead compartment of a plane or under the seat in front of you. So, when you go into a car, we don't want you to have to put it in the back of the car. You just pull it in with you, put it on the ground next to you in the car or on the bus. So definitely being a compact design that you can fold it down is very, very important. Intersections are a whole ball game, right? That I would say that is something that we would be working with the community. One of the things that, at least at this stage, we don't plan to do is to initiate a crossing. Like we won't say, oh, it's safe to cross, go ahead. At this stage, we are leaving that to the individual, but we do have a lot of sensors that could provide information. If there's something in the way, can the device see the up curb? Will it be able to see traffic lights? Potentially. We are working, we are in conversation with OCO as well, who developed the app to see traffic lights. I'm gonna just skirt around that question and say that's going to be work in progress for a while, but we know that crossing intersections is going to be very, very critical. What Glide will be able to do from the beginning is guide you to the crossing, line you up with the crossing, keep you straight across the road to the up curb on the other side. And if it's multiple stages, we'll look for the first one and then guide you on the second one and on the third one. So it will help you to have the confidence that you are on the crossings that you want to be on, but not this stage signal as to when it's safe to cross.
Thank you, Amos. Jose, did your question come back to you?
It did, thank you. Can you spell the website for me, please? I'm sorry for my ignorance, but I just want to make sure I'm spelling it the right way.
Yeah, it's glidance.io. So it's the word guidance, but with an L instead of the U. glidance.io.
Thank you.
Of course.
Maybe, Pete, just with time, I know there's probably a number of other questions. Maybe what I'd love to do is share with everyone how they can get involved, how they can join the glider community, and how they can really be part of this journey with us in a number of different ways. And I will touch on what Maria said about this upcoming demo day tour and kind of give everyone a bit of information there, if that's okay with everyone.
Go right ahead, Luke.
Well, everyone, first off, again, thank you so much for giving us your Sunday afternoons and evenings here. It means the world to myself, Amos, Nick, and the entire Glidance team. From the get-go, we've had this motto and real kind of pillar to this community that is, we're building this device out in the open because it needs to be with the community, for the community, and by the community. And so to give everyone an idea of how you can get involved, most importantly, like Hosea just mentioned, go on our website, read through the FAQs, read through our language, read through how we're approaching this style of device, then go on to our YouTube channel, go on to our Instagram. Glidance.io is pretty much the handle for a lot of them. Most importantly, though, these virtual demo days, for everyone on the call who had said, no, this is my first time hearing about Glide, every single month on the last week and the Wednesday, we host what we call a Glider Zoom call. And the differences between the virtual demo day and the Glider Zoom call is this. We don't necessarily talk about the device from the high level kind of introductory standpoint that we are in this. We really talk about it from the angle of what has happened from last month to now. It's almost like you guys are coming into our boardroom and you're hearing the updates, and this is what we're planning next, and this is what we're doing next, and this is what we did before. And you guys get to not only feel like you're a part of it, as Amos mentioned, you get to shape the next meeting in many ways. You give us feedback on what we've worked on, and you say, hey, that's kind of okay, but if you did this, that'd be great. What we do is then we take those learnings and those lessons and those ideas, and we work as a team over that next month to really put action behind those words and in real time really deliver on what you guys are providing us. Because let's face it, you are the information, you are the truth, you are the resource that is so powerful to a device like this. Because I know from my own experience buying a device, and I'm pretty sure we can all say yes to this, you buy something, you're excited about it, you open it, you try it, and you go, I wish that was different, I wish this was different, I would have done this different. How about we change that idea? How about we change that process and that moment to allow you guys to feel like when you get the final device in its first iteration, you will, wow, like they really listened. We were really a part of this. And I go back to that statement. You're a team member, you're a contributor, you're a partner. So I would love everyone to go online and register to become a glider. It's very simple. Your first name, last name, your email. You can tell us something about yourself. We send out monthly newsletters. We send out surveys with important questions from our product team, our marketing team, our O&M specialists that we connect with, over 300 over this past year. So I'd love for you all to join that community for a number of reasons. Secondary, that newsletter is going to give you a lot of information on how you can get involved in an in-person way through our demo day tours. Last year, we held about 18 different demo days, and I have to say they were so incredible for a number of reasons. Obviously, I know we're all kind of aligned that this is a physical product, and as great as it is to talk about it and listen and hear and give ideas, you really want to get your hands on it. So we kicked off those demo days to do just that. But they became so much more. They became opportunities for us to connect with the entire community as a whole, not just the individual, but the organization, the O&Ms, the government organizations, and the entities, and really the programs that have supported this community for decades and continue to. And what I really want to come to that is the idea of unification, coming together as a whole ecosystem to really understand how we bring technology, how we bring the community, and how we bring this next era of AI and just innovation into this community, because it's so powerful for not only our industry, but for every industry. And so these demo days that are going to kick off at the beginning of March, right after the CSUN convention in Anaheim, I'm really excited to say that a lot of the places that people had mentioned in the beginning of this call, we're going to be going to. Texas, California, Florida, all over the Midwest, all over the Northeast, many places in Arizona, Colorado, we're going to be in Canada, we're going to be in the UK, we're going to be all over Europe to a certain degree as well. And so I'd really love if you all could not only join in person, but tell your friends about it. Hey, you know what? Join to become a glider, because all they really want right now is your feedback. You're not a customer yet. In many ways, you won't ever be. You'll all be part of this journey. So with that, I'd love to, again, maybe give Amos and Nick an opportunity to say thank you as well. But that's really the way that you can get involved. And it's really the opportunity that we'd love to provide everyone on this call. I'd like to thank everyone at iBUG. I think it's incredible to hear that there are many people on this call who this was their first time as well. And it's just amazing to know that we're really building a community all together in real time. So I can't wait to continue to work together with iBUG and hopefully do another one of these sessions maybe in a few months. And hopefully see everyone on this call in person, get to give you a hug, shake your hand, and most importantly, get your hand on Glide.
Hey, look, this is Sree. Can I ask one quick question?
Please.
What is the warranty and return policy of the product?
So on the warranty side, we're still working on that at the moment. I'll let Nick maybe elaborate. There is obviously a manufacturing warranty, but we're definitely still talking about the opportunity of what we can provide to the end consumer. It's a bit different. Nick, maybe if you want to touch on that quickly.
What we're planning on doing is offering a 2-year warranty on the device. That is probably what it's going to end up being. We're counting the beans right now, making sure that this is something that we can do, but that is the direction we want to take. In addition to that, I believe there's going to be an opportunity for people to try the product and return it. But I do believe that we want people to live with a device for a certain amount of time before they return it. 2-year warranty and some sort of a product return with a proviso that you've really tried it first for, a number of days, let's say 30 days.
At this stage, it's a 60-day return, but the minimum of 30-day of use. So basically, you a chance to really try, immerse yourself, work with the device. And if after that you find that it's not for you, please, you can return the device for full refund.
Yep, on the subject. So what Luke said, we do want to thank you for having us here today. It was a great opportunity. Love the opportunity to hear other people, hear suggestions. Luke mentioned the demo days, in-person demo days last year. I believe we gave live demonstrations to over 1,200 people last year. And we're going to do a lot more in this coming year because working with you guys, and a lot of times will frustrate you because you might ask us a question like, well, what does the Glide do when you encounter X? And we will very frustratingly turn around and say to you, well, what do you want it to do? Because we do want to gather that input, and it feeds our product roadmap, our feature roadmap, our future development. And as the device gets stronger and gets used by more people, it's going to solve more and more problems. And we don't want to guess what the best way is. Crowdsourcing that is going to be a much more accurate way for us to do that. So again, thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate you having us with us. So Amos, to you.
Yeah, no, you guys did it. Thank you very much. Excited to be Peter, Maria, and Sree. Thank you for having us. Be delighted to keep in touch with iBUG and do updates as we go through the year.
Well, thank you all. Thank you, Nick and Amos and Luke. Thank you to you all for your time and for your passion and your enthusiasm, your candor and your receptivity to so much of feedback and continue request for input throughout this whole process. It really is unique, the amount of community input that you are seeking in order to make this the best product that it can be. So thank you to all of you who came to attend and who asked many great questions and provided great feedback. We do echo the invite from iBUG side to go to the glidance.io website if you are interested to learn more and to sign up to mailing list to become a glider, meaning to join the community and provide your feedback. And with that, I will turn it over to Pete for some closing remarks from Pete.
Sure. Thank you, Maria. And again, encourage everybody to go to the website. Once again, that's Glidance, Glid as in David, ance.io, and register there. If you would prefer, we would be happy to accept your emails here at iBUG. That email address is ibugtoday@gmail.com. That's ibugtoday@gmail.com. And I too would like to join in thanking you, Amos and Luke and Nick, for being so open and receptive. And I'm going to hand it back to Sree. Sree, if you've got any further things to say, take it away.
All right, thanks, Pete and Maria. And I also wanted to say thank you so much for Nick, Luke, and Amos for coming here to do this presentation for us. I definitely got some new happiness about this product. I am definitely looking forward to it. I also want to just thank everybody for attending today, asking for these great questions. We truly appreciate it. Hopefully you got some new idea about what Glide can do if you know about it. And for those who never heard of Glide, I hope today you've got some new product to look at, maybe potentially getting that might help you to get around. I do want to also thank Julie and Herbie for admitting people today, being on the back end, and obviously Sandhya for also being part of this, and Michael. So with that, Michael and Sandhya, do you have any final comments before we close out?
Hey, Sree,
Yes.
I just, sorry, I got muted, but
Yeah, go ahead,
thank you
Sandhya.
guys. It was an amazing presentation, and thank you for taking the time to share it with our group. And I'm looking forward to, future with you guys. So thank you.
I just wanted to add real quick, too, that questions from the audience, the correct forum for asking additional questions on the Glide device would fall within the iBUG mini buzz, which is the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month from 5 until 6 p.m. Central. That's the time when we can ask about hardware and things like this. So if you have any further questions, that's your forum.
Yeah, and also, if you do send an email to ibugtoday@gmail.com, on the subject line, just say Glide and have your first and last name, so that way we can easily redistribute back to Glidance.
And of course, you are also welcome to, if you register for the Glide community, you can join the monthly Gliders calls and ask questions, of course, ask questions of the team, similar to how you may have done this afternoon or evening. And for those who, if you're not able to make it to those calls, live recordings do get sent out as well, so you are able to.
The next Glider call takes place at the last Wednesday of every month.
That is the 26th of February.
I will say as well, we have an email address that we're more than happy to have people reach out to us as well. It's gliders, GLIDERS, @glidance.io.
I want to thank once again for everybody joining us, and we look forward to everyone coming back to the cafe next month on the second Sunday. So with that, I will say good night to everyone and be safe.